So I'm not doing a very good job because now we're up to 15 miles per gallon, and something that I'm interested in seeing, I wonder if I can get the Prius to like peel out. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we are going to be doing quite possibly the weirdest thing I've ever done for a video. We are going to try to get the best possible and the worst possible fuel economy with this 2021 Toyota Prius. Now normally I move my personal vehicles when I do film a video on a press car, but the reason I haven't moved the TRX is we are going to see if we can get the Prius to get as worse fuel economy as the TRX. I don't know if it's possible, but we're going to try. So first off, we've got to start her up and see what she's been averaging. 4,900 miles. I'm doing pretty good in terms of the mile, or in terms of how much I've been driving it. But let's see what my average miles per gallon. I know the tires are low. That's how I drive it. Okay, now it's making me go through again. That's so stupid. Okay, 9.5 miles per gallon. So 9.5 miles per gallon. That is the MPG to beat with the Prius. So again, in this first part of the video, we'll try to get the worst possible fuel economy. And then the second part, I'll actually drive it how a normal sane person would drive this car. And we'll see what it actually gets. So we're starting out here, and we are starting off pretty good because I purposely picked an area we're gonna have to go uphill a bunch. We are so far averaging 8.9. Well, dang it, it's going above 10 miles per gallon. I've got to somehow get this to get worse fuel economy than the TRX. Again, 9.5 is the number to beat. But this thing is just too good at getting good fuel economy that it doesn't really want to do it. Somehow, with me constantly flooring it, I'm still averaging over 10 miles per gallon. Man, this is what happens with these good fuel economy cars. The MPG just keeps going up. We are not doing too good of a job so far. But this is, again, this is probably the weirdest thing I've ever done. But it's kind of fun at the same time. I'm gonna do a little bit more driving and get back to you guys. So I'm not doing a very good job because now we're up to 15 miles per gallon. And something that I'm interested in seeing, I wonder if I can get the Prius to like peel out. Nope, not really. I tried. Doesn't want to do it. That was kind of interesting. Maybe I need to like crank it a little bit harder and just like full on floor it with the wheel cranked, and then maybe we can get it to break loose with the traction control turned off. So yeah, we're up to 15 miles per gallon, and I mean, this is crazy to me. Like, if I was doing this in any other car, I'd be getting like 2 miles per gallon. But in this, I'm somehow, I mean, it just keeps going up and up. This car's just too fuel efficient. Like, it just does too good of a job. We can't get this to not be fuel efficient. It's pretty much impossible. And the other thing I'm doing is, the Prius has regenerative braking. And so what you usually want to do is when you're coming up to a light, you just want to kind of like lightly go into the brakes so you can get a bunch of charge on the battery. I'm not doing that whatsoever. I'm purposefully like stopping at the last possible second so that I don't let the car get any sort of regeneration in to get the fuel economy to be even worse. But, well, as you guys can see, it's not really working out too well because it looks like even though we're still gaining elevation and everything, it looks like we're gonna pop above 20 miles per gallon. And yeah, I mean, I'm trying, okay? I'm trying. So, I didn't do a very good job, guys. Let's see if I can get it to skirt. Ah! I got it to skirt a little bit. Pretty much went to the edge of grip for the car. Almost ran out of tire there. Sorry, Toyota. Anyways, after, I guess, driving it around hard and rallying it and everything and having the AC blasting, the worst fuel economy that I could get average-wise is over 20 miles per gallon. Right now we're at 22 miles per gallon. And so, yeah. I mean, if you drive your Prius like a complete moron like what I just did, then you'll still average over 20 miles per gallon, which is absolutely ridiculous in my mind. Like, with my TRX, I couldn't even touch that number. But then with my Ford Focus RS, which is, right, a smaller type car like this, if I'm really light on the throttle with that car, then yeah, I can maybe average like 22, 23. Whereas this car, it's like, oh, full throttle all the time, just complete rallying it, you get that kind of fuel economy. It's crazy. But let's actually drive this like a sane human being now and see what you can actually get if you know, again, drive this normal. Now we are driving like a sane human being, and by the way, the actual temperature, 99 degrees outside, pretty toasty. So far the fuel economy is over 100 miles per gallon, but It's not super accurate because we've mostly been going downhill, and so it's kind of been a lot of coasting. But again, we'll see if we can at least get the EPA rating around town, which is just over 50 miles per gallon, which I think if we drive like a normal sane human being, it should be pretty easy to be able to achieve that number. You know, something I've noticed about driving the Prius around is people do not like getting passed by this car. Like, I'm dead serious. Every single time I basically get over or like go drive past someone, they instantly start accelerating. They're like, oh no, I can't get passed by a Prius. It is the weirdest thing I've ever experienced in my life, but it is part of driving this car. Is like, it's just, I don't know, I can't explain it, but it happens. But I'll get a little bit more driving in, and then I'll get back to you guys in terms of what I'm actually getting driving this around town real life. Something that's interesting that I've noticed about the Prius is it is exceptionally good at coasting. So a lot of cars, even when you're going downhill, you'll have to kind of put a little bit of throttle in to keep it going, whereas the Prius, I don't know how to explain, but like it doesn't accelerate super fast when you're going downhill and not on the throttle. Like some cars will just, like, think of a manual transmission. If you're neutral, right, you'll kind of accelerate quite quickly if you're going on a steep decline. Whereas with this, it just pretty much stays at the speed that you're going, and it just coasts. And so it's like you can pretty much just sit there and just coast down hills, and it actually helps with getting much better fuel economy. Again, so far I'm still somehow averaging over 100 miles per gallon. I don't know how. I've been going up and down hills this whole driving thing, and when I go up the hills, right, it'll slightly dip down below 100 miles per gallon, but then go back down another hill, right, and it goes back over. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy. And again, I still have the AC blasting because now we're up to 101 degrees outside, pretty toasty. But yeah, the Prius is actually doing a really good job from a fuel economy standpoint so far. So I'm gonna get on the interstate here with the Prius, and I mean, we'll get a little bit of interstate fuel economy for today's video, but also we'll get an acceleration. Just kidding, I'll have my hands on the steering wheel. I was just doing that because, like, not a lot happens. You know, sometimes I think my jokes are funny, okay, people? It's not horrible getting up to highway speeds, but it's definitely not quick by any means, unless you're like literally pedal to the ground. Like, look at this. So if I'm just like partial throttle, it's not accelerating whatsoever. Like, you have to pretty much be full throttle to get any kind of acceleration with the Prius. Just kind of understand that. But once you're up to speed, it's pretty good at staying up to speed. But part of the reason why this doesn't get as good fuel economy on the highway is you're constantly going to have to go into the throttle to keep it up to speed, versus around town you don't have to do that. And then also, you don't get as much benefit out of the electric motors on the highway, right? You're not going to be doing as much regen and all that kind of stuff. And so that's part of the reason why the fuel economy around town is better on the highway, and that's pretty much every single hybrid out there. We've dropped down to 67.5 miles per gallon, right? All that accelerating and all that kind of stuff kind of dropped everything. But I mean, I've got a gut feeling that after this whole route, we're probably still going to be over what the EPA rates this at, which is the just over 50 miles per gallon around. I mean, combined is about 50 miles per gallon roughly. But yeah, I have a gut feeling that we're going to be able to beat that. So we're going up another hill here, and this is going to drop our fuel economy rating by just a little bit. This is kind of partial throttle going up a hill. You guys can see, like, we can get up to speed. It's just that it's not going to happen at a crazy quick pace. But then if we go full throttle, right, it'll happen a little bit quicker, which, yeah, I mean, again, it's not supposed to be a fast accelerating vehicle. This is what I'm talking about. As soon as I like go into this lane, like I'm gonna start to pass, okay, the Jeep's not being weird. Almost every single time, they're like, nope, I can't get passed by a Prius. That ain't gonna happen. It's like, that's where you're wrong, kiddo. I feel like half of the references I make are memes. So we have officially made it back, and hopefully it shows up on the GoPro. 50.8 miles per gallon. And actually the Prius does give you like a little driving thing telling you how good you did. So let's see. I got a really low score on climate because I had the AC blasting the whole time. And in terms of acceleration, I got a pretty low score. I got 2 out of 5. Coasting, I got 3 out of 5. And then braking, I got a 3 out of 5. So I didn't even do a great job in terms of like my score is 43 out of 100, so I did below average on what right? 100 out of 100 would be perfect. But I mean, getting over 50 miles per gallon, and I mean, not driving this ideally, I think is pretty crazy, and considering it's over 100 degrees outside, and I had the AC blasting and all that. And again, we're at 4,500 feet elevation, and I was constantly going up and down hills. So yeah, I mean, the Prius just, it's insane on the fuel economy.